For centuries, history textbooks have crowned the Roman Empire as the absolute peak of ancient engineering. We point to their soaring stone aqueducts and sprawling bathhouses as the definitive origin of municipal hygiene. But Roman public latrines were highly dangerous. Because they lacked U-bends to trap returning gases, we have to look at this timeline diagram. If we rewind past the founding of Rome, past the collapse of the Bronze Age, we hit a hard stop at the year 2500 BCE. 2,000 years before Roman engineers laid their first lead pipe, a mysterious civilization of 5 million people in South Asia had already perfected a fully flushable, city-wide sewer system. When archaeologists began digging in the 1920s, they unearthed sprawling ancient cities like Mohenjo-Daro. The settlements were built on meticulously planned, highly organized perpendicular street grids that stretched for miles. Normally, a Bronze Age society of this size leaves behind massive monuments to a ruling class, giant pyramids, soaring temples, or elaborate tombs stuffed with gold. But as archaeologists kept digging, they found absolutely none of these. This society relied on decentralized guilds and civic bureaucrats. The stamp seals you see here were used to track economic resources, and they weren't locked away in a royal vault. They were found scattered across everyday middle-class households. Without a god-king demanding vanity monuments, this civilization directed its vast economic output toward a singular collective goal, the public health of its citizens. Every single fired clay brick in this empire, which spanned over 1 million square kilometers, adhered to the exact same mathematical ratio. That uniform precision allowed them to build private, sloped washrooms in almost every home. Watertight floors funneled wastewater cleanly into vertical wall pipes, emptying into street-level soak pits. Heavy solids settled at the bottom, while filtered gray water overflowed into the municipal drain. Using precise downward gradients, gravity kept the liquid moving, completely preventing bacterial buildup. These covered street drains were constructed with such durable mathematics that they survive perfectly intact in the archaeological ruins today. Without a single moving part or mechanized pump, they used basic hydrodynamics to instantly isolate human waste from living quarters. This mastery of fluid dynamics extended far beyond the comfortable river valleys. When building the fortress city of Dholavira in a harsh, water-scarce desert, they had to adapt. They captured erratic monsoon flash floods by constructing massive stone check dams across seasonal streams, diverting the violent rushing water directly into the city's infrastructure. That water flowed into 16 giant reservoirs carved straight into the solid sandstone bedrock, safely storing millions of liters to sustain the population. Down on the coast, at the trade hub of Lothal, the challenge was entirely different. The ocean tides in the Gulf of Combat violently swing by 11 meters. Using heavy wooden sluice gates, they trapped high tide water inside the world's oldest tidal fjord, keeping ships afloat. Then they connected this basin's overflow to municipal sewers. The immense hydraulic pressure automatically flushed the city's waste into the sea. They achieved maximum municipal hygiene by working in rhythm with the environment's most extreme forces. There are no mass graves, caches of weapons, or burnt ruins to suggest this society was conquered by a military invasion. Around 1900 BCE, the global climate shifted. The seasonal monsoons weakened, and the critical rivers that fed these cities began to dry up or change course. Without flowing water, the sewers could not flush. As the physical infrastructure choked with sand, the civic bureaucracies that organized the cleaning and maintenance fractured. The population gradually abandoned the cities and migrated east. The collective obligation to public health dissolved, and the streets fell completely silent. Thousands of years later, medieval European cities operated completely without covered sewers. Residents dumped raw waste directly into streets and rivers, sparking devastating, preventable outbreaks of plague and cholera. Today, we measure our own progress by the height of our glass skyscrapers, the complexity of our microchips, and the immense wealth of our global elite. Yet, the United Nations reports that over 2 billion people today still lack access to basic, safe sanitation. Millions of children are constantly exposed to waterborne diseases that ancient engineers had eradicated 4,500 years ago. A civilization ultimately proves its worth through the dignity, health, and safety it guarantees to its most ordinary residents.